And heading into this final weekend before Super Tuesday, a major fight has developed between Democrats Richard Gephardt and Michael Dukakis. It heated up this week when Governor Dukakis accused Congressman Gephardt of hypocrisy, campaigning as an outsider while accepting millions in political action contributions from big corporations. As NBC's Dennis Murphy reports now, Gephardt responded in kind.
Dukakis today in Denver. Gephardt in Little Rock, swapping punches 1,000 miles apart.
One of my opponents, Governor Dukakis of Massachusetts, has largely financed his campaign by contributions from people and interests who do business with the state of Massachusetts.
I don't know what he's talking about. I have 65,000 individual contributors to my campaign.
But the nastiness is not really about where each gets his contributions from.
You're going to kill the Mexican economy.
No. Are you running for president of Mexico or America?
Gephardt and Dukakis are fighting each other for the white Southern vote on Super Tuesday. Their records are only moderately known to the voters here, so each camp has decided to get some attention by running negative commercials.
Dukakis is one of the biggest tax raisers in Massachusetts history.
Gephardt started it saying Dukakis was a big taxer. Dukakis answered back that Gephardt is a phony, not a friend of the working man, but a creature of big money from the big businesses he wraps.
It's a list of Congressman Dick Gephardt's biggest contributors, a very partial list.
Gephardt says he'll give back his contributions from political action committees if Dukakis will return the millions he's received from individuals and companies doing business with Massachusetts. Dukakis dismissed the idea, saying he only takes money from voters, no political action committees or lobbyists, and accepts no contributions over $1,000. Tonight, Dukakis upped the negative ad ante. A commercial accusing Gephardt of flip-flopping on his record will play this weekend in major TV markets in the South. The new negative Dukakis spot hits Gephardt just as Gephardt is trying frantically to raise more money for his own TV commercials. It sets Gephardt off balance, and that's exactly what Dukakis wants to do with only a few days left till Super Tuesday. Dennis Murphy, NBC News, Atlanta.
In Cairo tonight, Secretary of State George Shultz announced that he has given Israel and 3 Arab countries a U.S. proposal for Middle East peace talks and requested their answers within 10 days. In a hectic day of shuttle diplomacy, Shultz discussed the plan with Israeli Prime Minister Shamir in Jerusalem, and then with Syrian President Assad in Damascus, and then with Egyptian President Mubarak in Cairo. Shultz described the proposal as ambitious and said it calls for talks between Israel and the Arabs on the status of the West Bank, Gaza, and the Golan Heights, talks that could begin early next month if all the parties agree to them. And while Shultz was in Jerusalem, police found and defused a car bomb near his hotel. The Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, claimed responsibility and said Shultz was the target. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli soldiers opened fire on Palestinian demonstrators, killing 2. Television pictures of such violence have helped the Palestinians win public support for their cause around the world. Today, the Israelis try to put a stop to that by barring journalists from the West Bank trouble spots. However, as NBC's Jim Bitterman reports now, their image problem does continue.
Because of you, the Jewish settlers screamed to the journalists, they are killing us. And while no Israelis have been killed in the rioting here, there are those from the West Bank to the Israeli parliament who share the settlers' opinion that the media are to blame for aggravating Israel's troubles, and the media ought to be stopped.
The hell with the media and the hell with the image. We want to live and we will live.
The area is closed from this minute.
Local military commanders effectively accomplished what some politicians might have liked today by using their discretionary powers to seal off major towns in the occupied territories to non-residents.
All these people who are going...
Yes, we're checking them one by one.
A military spokesman says the media provoked trouble.
Everyone knows that whenever you have the light or the camera in your back or in your face, you behave differently.
Still, there seems to be more public outcry against the media because of scenes like those which show the military in a less than favorable light to the outside world. Those who oppose a ban on journalists say it can never be fully enforced.
Don't bar the press. Let them do the job. And I think the strength of democracy in Israel is to live with the press rather than to bar it.
In the end, keeping the media out today did not keep the trouble out. There was more rioting far from the camera lenses, and 2 more Palestinians were killed.
Whatever image problems may be posed by the scenes of the daily riots here, there are those who fear an even worse picture could be created, that of a country doing away with freedom of the press. Jim Bitterman, NBC News, on the occupied West Bank.
And the Persian Gulf War goes on. Today, Iraq fired 3 missiles into Tehran in Iran, killing 17 people. Iran countered by firing 2 missiles into Baghdad, killing several civilians. And a crowd of Iranians marched on the Soviet embassy to protest the sale of Soviet missiles to Iraq. In Moscow, meanwhile, the government news agency TASS reported today that ethnic rioting in the Soviet Republic of Azerbaijan this weekend killed 31 people. It's the first official report of deaths in the rioting. Those riots were sparked by a dispute over the boundary between Azerbaijan and another Soviet republic, Armenia.